Dawn, July 27, 1940. Fog descended upon the small Lithuanian city of Kaunas. A strange scene was unfolding in front of the Japanese Imperial Consulate. Hundreds of people had gathered before the Iron Gate. Men in tattered clothing, women clutching children in their arms, elderly folks leaning on canes. Their eyes brimmed with terror and desperation. These people were Jewish refugees from Poland. Just 10 months earlier, Nazi Germany had invaded Poland. The fate of millions of Jews had begun its descent into darkness. To survive, they fled east, ever eastward. Lithuania was the last borderline where they came to a halt. But even this place wasn't safe. The Soviet Union had already swallowed Lithuania whole. All foreign consulates had received notice to close within a month. Time was running out. For the Jewish refugees, only one escape route remained. Continue east, pass through Japan, and slip away to another country. For that, they needed Japanese transit visas. That's why they had gathered in front of the Japanese consulate. From a second-floor window of the consulate, a man gazed down at this scene. A 40-year-old Japanese diplomat, Chiune Sugihara. He looked out at the hundreds of faces visible through the window. Fear was etched into every single one. Even the children's eyes held no laughter. What must Sugihara have felt in that moment? He didn't yet know what he would do over the coming month. That his decision would save over 6,000 lives. And what would become of his career and honor as the price? This is the story of how an ordinary diplomat changed history. Chiune Sugihara was born on January 1, 1900, in Ieyasu, Gifu Prefecture, Japan. A child born on the first day of a new century. His father was a tax office civil servant. Though they were an ordinary middle-class family, his father harbored great ambitions. He wanted his son to become a doctor. In Japan at that time, doctor was among the most respected professions. Sugihara was a brilliant student. He excelled in every subject. But his heart was set elsewhere. Foreign languages. He felt a deep fascination with English in particular. The different worlds, different cultures he encountered in books captivated him. Following his father's wishes, he took the medical school entrance exam. But he deliberately submitted a blank answer sheet. Some say he walked into the exam hall, wrote only his name, and left. His father was furious. But Sugihara's resolve was firm. He applied for the Foreign Ministry's study abroad examination. And he passed. In 1919, 19-year-old Sugihara departed for Harbin, China. As a Foreign Ministry scholarship student, he went to learn Russian. Harbin. This city was a unique place where Russian and Oriental cultures intermingled. Many white Russian émigrés who had fled the Russian Revolution lived there. Sugihara mastered Russian in this place. He didn't merely learn the language. He immersed himself deeply in Russian literature, Russian music, Russian philosophy. He read Dostoevsky in the original. He felt the Russian soul while listening to Tchaikovsky's music. And he developed an interest in the Russian Orthodox Church. Eventually, he was baptized in the Russian Orthodox Church. His baptismal name was Pavel Sergeyevich. A Japanese diplomat had become a Russian Orthodox believer. This was highly unusual for that time. But Sugihara wasn't bound by formalities. What mattered to him was truth. Following what he believed was right. This character trait would later determine his destiny. In 1924, Sugihara became a formal employee of the Foreign Ministry. His first posting was the Japanese consulate in Harbin, Manchukuo. Manchukuo, a puppet state Japan had established after occupying northeastern China. Nominally independent, but in reality no different from a Japanese colony. Here Sugihara built his career as a diplomat. His exceptional Russian language skills were a major asset. He handled interpretation and analysis in negotiations with the Soviets. There was a particularly important negotiation in 1935. Negotiations for the Soviet Union. To sell the North Manchuria Railway to Manchukuo. Sugihara played a key role in these negotiations. His abilities began to gain recognition. But he also witnessed uncomfortable things in Manchuria. The brutal acts of the Japanese military. Discrimination and violence against Chinese people. Scenes where human dignity was trampled. He wrote in his diary, "Is this truly right? Why are we here?" Then an incident occurred. In 1937, an intelligence officer from the Japanese Kwantung Army approached Sugihara, a request to conduct espionage activities targeting Russians living in Manchuria. Sugihara refused. "I am a diplomat, not a spy." After saying this, he left Manchuria. More precisely, he had to leave. Due to conflicts with the military, he could no longer remain in Manchuria. In 1938, Sugihara was assigned to the Japanese legation in Helsinki, Finland. Europe. Having absorbed Russian culture in Harbin, he now came to the heart of Europe. But the European situation was far from peaceful. Hitler's Nazi Germany was rapidly expanding. The 1938 annexation of Austria. The same year, annexation of Czechoslovakia's Sudetenland. Dark clouds of war blanketed all of Europe. And persecution of Jews was escalating. Kristallnacht in November 1938. In this event called the Night of Broken Glass, Nazi stormtroopers destroyed Jewish shops and synagogues throughout Germany. Dozens died and tens of thousands were arrested. Sugihara heard this news in Helsinki. What was happening in Europe was becoming increasingly clear. In the spring of 1939, Sugihara received a new assignment. Orders to establish a Japanese consulate in Kaunas, Lithuania. Lithuania, a small country on the Baltic coast. Why would Japan want to open a consulate in this small nation? The stated reason was to promote exchange between the two countries. But the real reason was different. Intelligence gathering. Lithuania was sandwiched between Germany and the Soviet Union. From this position, military movements on both sides could be monitored. Sugihara's mission was to play the role of an intelligence officer. Disguised as a diplomat, he accepted this assignment. In the fall of 1939, Sugihara arrived in Kaunas with his wife Yukiko and their 3 sons. Their new home was 30 Vaizgantas Street, a 2-story building. The first floor served as the consulate office. The second floor as family living quarters. Less than a month after their arrival, the world turned upside down. On September 1, 1939, Nazi Germany invaded Poland. It was the beginning of World War II. The Polish invasion plunged Europe into terror. The German blitzkrieg was terrifying. In just 1 month, Poland fell to its knees. But the true tragedy for Poland was only beginning. Under Nazi occupation, Jewish persecution in Poland intensified. Jews were forced to wear the Star of David on their clothing. Property was confiscated. Forced relocation to ghettos began. And rumors started to spread. Jews were being transported somewhere. They weren't coming back. To survive, they had to flee. Polish Jews headed eastward, to Soviet-occupied territory, to Lithuania. From late 1939 through early 1940, tens of thousands of Jewish refugees poured into Lithuania. A considerable number gathered in Kaunas. Sugihara watched this scene. Refugees encountered on the streets. Families sleeping on park benches. People standing in line trying to obtain a piece of bread. His heart began to stir. In the summer of 1940, the situation deteriorated further. In June, the Soviet Union completely annexed Lithuania. The nation of Lithuania disappeared from the map. All foreign consulates received orders to evacuate by the end of August. Time was running out. For the Jewish refugees, this was tantamount to a death sentence. Remaining under Soviet rule meant Siberian exile. Returning to Germany meant death. An escape route was needed. Then one possibility emerged. Curaçao, a Dutch Caribbean island. This island required no visa for entry. Dutch consul Jan Zwartendijk began stamping Curaçao entry permits in the refugees' passports. But getting to Curaçao required transit points. The most realistic route was crossing the Soviet Union to reach Japan. And to pass through Japan, they needed Japanese visas. The morning of July 27, when Sugihara opened the consulate window, he witnessed an astonishing scene. Hundreds of people had gathered in front of the consulate. They had been there all night, soaked by rain, shivering in the cold. In their hands they clutched scraps of paper, passports stamped with Curaçao permits. And their eyes were filled with desperation. Please, just one visa, save us. Sugihara was torn. The Japanese Foreign Ministry's regulations were clear. To issue transit visas, one must have a visa for the final destination. One must have sufficient travel funds. One must undergo strict screening. Among the refugees outside the window, almost none met these conditions. The Curaçao permit wasn't a visa. Most had no money. According to regulations, nearly all applications should be rejected. Sugihara sent a telegram to Tokyo. He explained the current situation and requested guidance. Jewish refugees are requesting visas, inquiring whether regulations can be relaxed. Tokyo's response was firm: comply with regulations, reject applications that don't meet requirements. Sugihara sent another telegram. This time he explained the situation in greater detail. These people's lives are in danger. Without visas, they will die. Tokyo's response was the same: comply with regulations. Sugihara sent a third telegram. Please reconsider from a humanitarian perspective. The third response was identical. No. Sugihara couldn't sleep at night. The sounds from outside the consulate wouldn't leave his ears. Children crying, voices in prayer, occasional singing, sad songs in Hebrew. He sat by the window, lost in thought. I am a diplomat. I must follow orders from above. That is a diplomat's duty. But another thought crossed his mind. I am human. Those people outside are also human. If I refuse, they die. My disobedience could save their lives. Then what is right? Sugihara spoke with his wife Yukiko. Yukiko, I must make a decision. If I disobey orders and issue visas, I'll be dismissed. Our family's future will be in jeopardy. But if I turn away from those people, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Yukiko took her husband's hand. Do what you believe is right. I will follow your decision. Tears welled up in Sugihara's eyes. That night, he made his decision. I will issue the visas. Regardless of regulations, regardless of orders from above. Saving people comes first. The morning of July 29th. Sugihara opened the consulate doors. The first refugee entered. Name, destination, companions. Sugihara stamped his passport. Japanese Empire Transit Visa. In that moment, tears flowed from the refugee's eyes. Thank you. You are an angel sent by God. Sugihara smiled. Next person. Thus the visa issuance began. Dozens per day, hundreds per day. Sugihara's hands never rested. The time it took to complete one visa. Verifying the name, assigning a number, stamping. Signing an ordinary diplomat took about 30 minutes. Sugihara reduced this to 5 minutes. His wife Yukiko helped, organizing documents, preparing ink, cutting visa forms. Their 3 sons helped in their own way. The youngest, Haruki, was only 3. But he entertained the children who came to the consulate. Sugihara worked tirelessly from morning until night. He couldn't even eat properly. When Yukiko brought bread and tea, he ate hastily while working. His fingers grew stiff. His eyes became bloodshot. His shoulders and back ached. But he couldn't stop, because outside the window, hundreds were still waiting. The scene in front of the consulate changed daily. What had started as hundreds swelled beyond 1,000. Word had spread. The Japanese consulate in Kaunas is issuing visas to anyone, regardless of regulations. Jews flocked from all over Lithuania, even from Poland. Some came by train, some came on foot. Some had walked for days. The consulate front became a campground. People slept on spread blankets. They shared food, they prayed, they sang. Sugihara's heart ached every time he saw this scene. Faster, more visas must be issued. There's no time. He increased the issuance speed further. He simplified the forms. Only essential information was recorded. His stamping motion became mechanically precise. 300 per day. Some days he issued 400. He processed in one day what an ordinary diplomat would issue in a month. The reactions of those who received visas varied. Some knelt in gratitude. Some burst into tears. Some tried to kiss Sugihara's hand. Sugihara said, "No need for thanks. I'm only doing what must be done. Go quickly. There's no time." Refugees who received visas headed straight to Kaunas station. There they boarded trains to Moscow. From Moscow they transferred to the Trans-Siberian Railway to Vladivostok. From Vladivostok they took ships to Suruga port in Japan. This was their lifeline. Sugihara's visa was the key to this journey. But not everything went smoothly. Soviet officials began casting suspicious glances. Why is this Japanese consulate issuing so many visas? Something's fishy. Sugihara had to be careful. Too much attention could accelerate the consulate's closure. So he asked the refugees, "Please be quiet. Don't make a commotion in front of the consulate. Please maintain order." The refugees followed this request. They knew what great risks Sugihara was taking for them. One day in August, a rabbi visited the consulate. His name was Chaim Kalmanowitz. He was the leader of the Mir Yeshiva. The Mir Yeshiva was a famous Jewish religious school. Established in Mir, Poland, it had centuries of tradition. When war broke out, the entire school had fled to Lithuania. Over 300 faculty and students together. Rabbi Kalmanowitz said to Sugihara, "Mr. Sugihara, our school's future is in your hands. These students are the future of Jewish learning. Please save them." Sugihara nodded. "I will do everything I can." From that day, visa issuance for Mir Yeshiva students began. All 300 received visas. These students later crossed to Shanghai and continued their studies throughout the war. After the war ended, Mir Yeshiva was rebuilt in Israel and America. Today it has grown into one of the world's largest Jewish theological seminaries. Without Sugihara's visas, this tradition would have been severed. Late August approached. The Soviet authorities' evacuation deadline. Sugihara issued visas until the last moment. Until the day the consulate closed. No, even after it closed, he continued. He moved his belongings to a hotel. The Metropole Hotel. He continued issuing visas even from his hotel room. Refugees followed him to the hotel. In the corridors, in the lobby, they waited. Sugihara was desperate to save even one more person. September 1st. The time to leave had finally come. Kaunas station. As the Sugihara family boarded the train, hundreds of Jews had gathered at the station. People seeking one last visa. And people wanting to express their gratitude. Sugihara handed visas through the train window. One, then another. The train began to depart. The wheels started rolling. Sugihara threw visas from the moving train. "Catch them. Take these. Survive." Some caught the visas. Some missed them. As the train picked up speed, Sugihara could no longer hand out visas. He shouted out the window, "Forgive me. Forgive me for not being able to help more. Please stay safe." Then he pulled the consulate stamp from his bag. That precious stamp. He threw the stamp to a Jew. "Take this. If you find anyone who needs it, stamp it for them." The train pulled away. People remaining on the platform waved. Some wept. Some called out blessings in Hebrew. Thus Sugihara left Lithuania. The exact number of visas Sugihara issued is unknown. According to official records, approximately 2,139. But the actual number is estimated to be higher. Some visas weren't recorded, especially those issued during the chaos of the final days. And one visa often saved multiple people. For family visas, one included the entire family. 5 people, 6 people, sometimes more than 10 in a family. Experts estimate the number of people saved by Sugihara's visas at between 6,000 and 10,000. The most commonly cited figure is 6,000, but this is the number directly saved. When you include their descendants, the number grows exponentially. Today the number of Sugihara survivor descendants is estimated at around 400,000, the result of 1 month of visa issuance. 1 pen, 1 stamp, and a conscience. These made possible the lives of 400,000 people. Where did the Sugihara family go after leaving Lithuania? They traveled via Berlin to Prague, to Königsberg, and then to Bucharest. Sugihara served as a diplomat in various places. It was wartime. All of Europe was ablaze. He kept what happened in Kaunas a secret. He told no one, because he didn't know what would happen if it became known. In 1945, the war ended. Nazi Germany was defeated. Peace came to Europe. But peace did not come to Sugihara. In Bucharest, he was arrested by Soviet forces. Internment began. He spent 18 months in a camp. Cold, hungry days. The pain of separation from his family. Still, he survived. In 1947, Sugihara returned to Japan with his family. Home. A return after 10 years. But what awaited wasn't a warm welcome. What awaited him at the foreign ministry was a dismissal notice. The official reason was staff reduction. Post-war, the Japanese Foreign Ministry was downsizing. And Sugihara was included in that, they said. But Sugihara knew the real reason. What happened in Kaunas, issuing visas in defiance of orders from above. It was because of that. No one at the Foreign Ministry told him directly. But he could sense it. Cold stares, curt responses, closed doors. He quietly signed his resignation. His 28-year diplomatic career was over. 47 years old, he had to start over. From scratch. Sugihara's post-war life was harsh. His career and connections as a diplomat all became worthless. He had to do anything to support his family. First he did translation work, leveraging his Russian and English skills. But the income was meager. Next he got a job at a trading company, mediating trade between Japan and the Soviet Union. His Russian language skills became an asset once more. But for this work, he had to leave Japan. He spent years in Moscow, separated from his family, lonely, difficult years. His wife Yukiko remained in Tokyo raising the children. Their 3 sons grew up without their father. Sugihara occasionally sent letters. "I'm sorry for not being there. But I must work for the family. Please wait just a little longer." Yukiko understood. She had never regretted her husband's choice. Those 30 days in Kaunas. It was the right thing to do. Even if this was the price. The years passed. The 1960s, the 70s. Japan achieved post-war reconstruction. It grew into an economic powerhouse. But Sugihara's name remained forgotten. Almost no one knew about what happened in Kaunas. Sugihara himself never brought up the story. The past was just the past. He quietly lived his life. Then one day, it was 1968. Contact came from the Israeli embassy. "Someone is looking for you." His name was Yehoshua Nishri, economic counselor for the Israeli government. Sugihara was puzzled. An Israeli looking for him? The 2 men met at a Tokyo hotel. As soon as Nishri saw Sugihara, he said, "Mr. Sugihara, do you remember me? Summer of 1940, Kaunas. I received a visa from you." Sugihara's eyes widened. It had been 28 years. Nishri continued, "I lived because of that visa. My family lived. We have never forgotten you. And now, at last, I've found you." Sugihara couldn't speak. Memories buried for 28 years came flooding back. The hundreds of faces in front of the consulate. Their desperate gazes. The visas thrown from the departing train. He shed tears. Nishri cried too. The 2 men wept in silence for a long while. The meeting with Nishri was the beginning of a new chapter. Sugihara's story began to spread in Israel. Survivors gathered, people whose lives had been saved by Sugihara's visas. And their children, their grandchildren. They came to find Sugihara, to express their gratitude. Some came from far-off America. Some came from Europe. They brought gifts for Sugihara. Flowers, wine, chocolate. But the most precious gift was their stories. "I graduated from university because of your visa. I got married and had children because of you. My grandson celebrated his first birthday today. All because of you." Sugihara shed tears every time he heard such stories. And he said, "What I did was only natural. Anyone in my position would have done the same." But these were humble words. Among those who had been in his position at the time, very few had done so. Most diplomats followed regulations. They closed their doors. They turned away. Only Sugihara opened his door, defied regulations and issued visas. That's what makes him extraordinary. January 18, 1985. Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, a memorial honoring Holocaust victims. A special ceremony was held here. A ceremony conferring the title of righteous to Chiune Sugihara. Righteous. In English, righteous among the nations. A title given to non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jews during the Holocaust. The most honorable title. Sugihara became the first Japanese to receive this honor. Actually, he couldn't attend in person. His health wasn't good. An 85-year-old man. Instead, his wife Yukiko and son Hiroki attended. Hundreds gathered at the ceremony. Survivors saved by Sugihara's visas. And their descendants. They applauded through their tears. "Thank you, thank you, thank you for saving our lives." A tree was planted in Yad Vashem's Garden of the Righteous. In the name of Chiune Sugihara. That tree is still growing today. Sugihara lived one more year after receiving the righteous title. July 31, 1986. He quietly closed his eyes at his home in Kamakura. 86 years of life. That life hadn't been smooth. There were moments of glory and times of hardship. But among all of it, the most important moment was the summer of 1940. 30 days in Kaunas. Then he showed who he truly was. The funeral was held modestly. In Japan, he was still an unknown figure. But memorial services were held in Israel, in America, in Europe. Survivors and their descendants gathered to honor him. Some read prayers, some shared memories, some simply wept. Sugihara had departed, but his legacy remained. 6,000 lives, and the hundreds of thousands of descendants born from those lives. All of them are Sugihara's legacy. After Sugihara left this world, his name became increasingly known. In 1991, Lithuania regained independence. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, the newly independent Lithuanian government decided to honor Sugihara. Vaizgantas Street in Kaunas, that building where the Sugihara Consulate had been. A memorial was established here. The Sugihara Memorial. His office was restored. The desk he had used. A replica of the stamp used to issue visas. Photographs and documents from that time. Thousands of visitors come here every year. They hear Sugihara's story and shed tears. And they think, what would I have done? Could I have done the same in such a situation? Change began in Japan as well. In 1992, the Japanese Foreign Ministry officially rehabilitated Sugihara. Restoration of honor after 47 years. The foreign minister conveyed an official apology to the bereaved family. His actions were a humanitarian decision. Dismissing him at that time was wrong. On behalf of the Japanese government, we apologize. Yukiko saw her husband's honor restored. She smiled quietly. If only my husband had been alive. But I'm grateful this happened, even now. She passed away in 1998. She went to her husband's side. The two had shared those days in Kaunas together. Sugihara issuing visas. Yukiko helping him. Yukiko organizing documents, refilling ink, preparing meals. It would have been impossible without her. Today, Sugihara's name is remembered worldwide. Yad Vashem in Israel, Kaunas in Lithuania, Ieyasu in Gifu Prefecture, Japan. A memorial was built in his hometown too. The Hill of Humanity Memorial. His personal effects and records are displayed here. Students come on field trips. Tourists visit. They learn Sugihara's story, what one person's conscience can accomplish. That there are things more important than regulations and orders. That human dignity must be protected under any circumstances. Sugihara's story has been made into films. Published in books. Performed as theater. It's taught in schools around the world. There are streets and squares named after him. In Israel, in Lithuania, even in Japan. In 2000, the Japanese government issued a stamp honoring his achievement. A commemorative stamp for the 100th anniversary of Chiune Sugihara's birth. A small piece of paper bearing his face. But its meaning is great. The Japanese government officially acknowledged his accomplishments. It took over half a century. But justice was finally realized. History sided with Sugihara. What became of Sugihara's survivors and their descendants? They're scattered across the world. In Israel, in America, in Europe, in South America. Among them are those who became doctors. Those who became lawyers. Those who became professors. Those who became artists. Those who became entrepreneurs. They succeeded in their respective fields. And they had children and saw grandchildren. Generations continued, one generation to the next. Sugihara's one visa made all of this possible. Every year, gatherings of Sugihara survivor descendants are held. In Israel, in America, in Japan. They gather and share stories. How their grandparents survived. How Sugihara helped. What that one visa meant. They pass this story to the younger generation. We're here because of one Japanese man. He sacrificed his career to save us. Remember his name, Chiune Sugihara, our hero. What can we learn from Sugihara's story? First, that one person's actions can change history. Sugihara wasn't a president or a general, a vice consul in a small country, an unknown bureaucrat, but his decision saved 6,000 people. made possible the lives of 400,000. Great change doesn't begin in grand places. It begins with small decisions by ordinary people. Second, that conscience is stronger than regulations. Sugihara defied orders from above. He violated regulations. He lost his career as the price. But he never regretted it once. Because he knew he had done the right thing. When regulations and orders are wrong, following them is not justice. Following conscience is justice. Third, that human dignity is universal. Sugihara was Japanese. The people he saved were Jewish. Their nationalities were different, their religions different, their cultures different. But to Sugihara, that didn't matter. They were all human, humans with life, humans with dignity, humans who needed to be saved. Human dignity has no borders. Race, religion, culture, none are barriers. Sugihara demonstrated this through his actions. Even today, human rights are violated around the world. Refugees are blocked at borders. Minority groups are persecuted. People suffer under dictatorial regimes. In North Korea, millions live deprived of basic freedoms. North Korean defectors risk their lives seeking freedom. Many are caught midway and repatriated, dragged to camps and subjected to brutal punishment. What's different from Sugihara's time? Only the targets of persecution have changed. The suffering is the same. Then what should we do? Will we stand by, or will we act? Sugihara chose action. Even knowing the danger, even anticipating the price, he picked up his pen. He stamped. He saved lives. That was all he could do. But his all changed everything for 6,000 people. What is your all? It might be something small. One donation, one signature, one moment of attention. When these small things gather, they become great change. Like Sugihara's one visa, Chiune Sugihara, he didn't consider himself a hero. In an interview, he said, "I didn't do anything special. Anyone in my position would have done the same. I simply followed my conscience." Humble words, but history has judged him differently. He is a hero who saved 6,000 lives. A hero who made possible the lives of 400,000. A hero who showed how strong human conscience can be. His name will be remembered forever. Chiune Sugihara, the man who issued visas of life. The diplomat of conscience. A hero to us all. September 1, 1940, Kaunas station. From the window of the departing train, Sugihara threw his last visa. And he cried out, "Forgive me. Forgive me for not being able to help more." That voice seems to echo still. Becoming history's echo, asking us, what will you do? Will you follow regulations, or will you follow conscience? Will you stand by, or will you act? That choice makes history. That choice saves lives. That choice defines you. Like Sugihara. The end.